Hello, world. Brian here again. Welcome to my ministry. I'd like to start off by saying, always remember God in your life. Give Him the glory in everything. He is well deserving of it. He is our Creator, after all. Keep Him in our thoughts. Always right where He belongs, in our hearts, our minds, and our souls. So, as you may have guessed, I took a couple of weeks off, and now I'm back and ready to resume. So today I would like to continue with the Ten Commandments. Actually, today is actually February 13th, 2022. It is Super Bowl Sunday. The two teams playing are the Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Rams, Los Angeles Rams. They've proven themselves to be the best throughout the season, and so they are meeting head to head today. Now, the only reason I bring that up is because we've got a much larger game going on as well, a much larger Super Bowl, cosmic Super Bowl, if you will, between God and Satan, always vying for our souls, right? Kind of a little game that Satan started, and anyway, it's one that we need to be vigilant of always. Is that our souls are in play here. They are, whether we like it or not. And I think if you want to keep it, if you want to keep your soul, if you want good things to happen to you, then you go to God's side. But if you want to burn in a lake of fire for all eternity, then that's, you can head over to the other side and see how well you do there. Not a very good option in my thoughts anyway. So, anyway, I'd like to continue with this episode. I'd like to continue with the Ten Commandments, starting because the last episode was like a second episode on the fourth commandment, which I just happened to think was quite important. Like, it really needed 2 episodes to go over it, and probably still didn't touch on everything involved with that. It's such it's just a huge commandment. It's like something that is huge, and it's really part of this Super Bowl thing that I was talking about. Okay, the whole vying for our souls thing. That fourth commandment plays I think quite a large part in this. It remains to be seen. I could be wrong, but in my mind, the way I'm thinking, I think that's going to play a pretty big part in it. So moving on into the fifth commandment, okay? The Bible's fifth commandment states, "Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee." Okay? The comparable version, the Catholic version of which for them is their fourth commandment, states, "Honor your mother and your father." That's it. Now, I don't really think that this commandment needs a whole lot of elaboration. It seems to simply be saying to give respect to the people who created you, okay? Your mother and your father, your parents. Remember that they are also human, just like the rest of us, okay? We have a tendency to put our parents on a pedestal. But they're human. They make mistakes, just like the rest of us. So, at least for our part, and some of us are parents, some of us are, we're all parents, we're all children. Well, some of us are parents anyway. There's a lot of children out there who haven't become parents yet, but they're on their way and they'll get there too. We need to remember that as humans, we make mistakes. So as children, we need to remember to put forth a little effort and show our parents a little bit of respect. Even if you don't agree with their opinions. They deserve a certain degree of respect just for bringing you into the world, if for no other reason. Good parents deserve a lot of respect. So, and I know some of those. Anyway, let's move to the sixth commandment. Now, this one is a little bit weird, and if interpreted wrongly, would suggest a lot of conflict within the Bible itself, a lot of contradiction. The sixth commandment stated in the Bible is thou shalt not kill. And the Catholic version, their fifth commandment, states, you shall not kill. Now, like I said, this is one I really do want to elaborate on. My take on this is that the commandment really should state, thou shalt not murder. That's what it should. That should be the correct interpretation, is thou shalt not murder. Why would I conclude this? Well, it's simple. There are many instances in the Bible where God instructed the Israelites to kill. Now, we need to remember that Moses was not allowed to set foot in the Promised Land. He died before that happened. The Promised Land, was already occupied by a number of different people, Canaanites, and their various cities in that land. Now, God instructed Joshua, who was the Israelite leader after Moses, basically to invade and conquer. He instructed him not just to conquer, he was instructed to kill every man, woman, and child so that their beliefs would not infect the Israelites' beliefs, their belief in God and His laws and instructions, right? This killing, if you will, would seem to contradict God's own law in the Sixth Commandment, except that it really wasn't, because this was killing as it applies to war, which is different. You know, there's Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 3 states a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. Now notice that a time to kill is in there. This is basically stating that there are times when killing is necessary. Times when it's okay to kill because there may be no other recourse. Killing as not murder, okay? I'm not sure how to say that other than that. But anyway, there are those times. There are a lot of really, really very bad and evil people out there who do a lot of very bad and evil things. If some of those bad or evil things happen to cross paths with good and God-fearing people, there are times when killing is necessary and sanctioned. This is not the same as murder, of course. Exodus 22:2, okay, chapter 22, verse 2, states, if a thief be found breaking up, which means breaking in as a home, as if you're home. If a thief be found breaking in, we'll just put it that way, to your home, and be smitten that he die, there shall be no blood shed for him. So by today's standards, this is saying if you catch a thief breaking into your home and you shoot and kill him, well, that's just how it is. You have to assume that this person is there not just to rob you, but to cause you and your family physical harm. You have the right, according to the Bible, to kill this person. He doesn't belong in your home. You have not invited him in. You can't assume that he's there to leave you milk and cookies, okay? You have to assume that he's there to do you harm in some way or other. So you have the right to protect yourself. There are other instances, even, where actual angels are the instruments of killing. In Isaiah 37, chapter 37, verse 36, for instance, it details how a single angel wiped out 185,000 Assyrian warriors in one night to protect the city of Jerusalem. So you just never know. There was even a time, at one time, when you could be stoned to death for offenses such as heresy, adultery, things like that. Things that people today really wouldn't understand at all. You know, how could you be killed for something like that? Well, at that time you could. It was serious. This was breaking God's laws. Adultery is one of those laws. It's in the Ten Commandments, and you could be stoned to death for that. So basically you can see that if we interpret the Sixth Commandment to say kill, then the Bible becomes contradictory to itself. However, if we interpret that meaning as murder, it becomes clear that there's no contradiction, and there are certain times such as war, protection of oneself or family, or even God's own protection over his people or places when killing is actually sanctioned and even encouraged. So, for instance, like when murderers are sent to death row, a row which in my opinion could certainly be considerably shorter sometimes. 20 years of appeals seems to be a bit of a stretch to carry out, an eye for an eye justice. So when murderers are sent to death row, it has been, this is a sentence that is handed down by a judge and a jury based on the biblical statement of an eye for an eye and the evidence presented. So this kind of a sentence handed down from a non-corrupted court, and I say that because you never know what you're getting these days. You don't know when politics is going to come into play in the courtroom. So, when this kind of sentence is handed down, it is typically valid and should be carried out, I think, without excessive delay. Now, don't get me wrong. I fully understand the need to get it right, okay? So, but I also think that it's highly unlikely that multiple juries are going to continue getting it wrong over any given 20-year stretch. That is provided we keep politics and loopholes out of the courtroom. If you do that, then I think things might go a little bit smoother, hopefully. I don't know. The bottom line is that it's never okay to murder anyone. That's not sanctioned. That's not okay. It is against the sixth commandment. However, there are times when killing is sanctioned by the Bible itself and necessary to protect yourself. And that's okay. It's something that could weigh pretty heavily on you. It's not something you want to take lightly, for certain. But if you're forced in that situation, hesitation could get you killed, basically. So it's not something that you want to take lightly, but it's something you want to be prepared for, too, at the same time. So I think with that, I'm going to conclude today's topic. And the next episode, we will talk more about the Ten Commandments. Taking up from where we just left off, we'll take up from the seventh commandment and work our way through the rest of them. So I would like to mention in closing that I have included a link to a PayPal page where if the Spirit moves you, you can donate whatever amount you like. Every little bit does help. So if not, that's okay too. It's not a big deal. What I would like to encourage you to do is please like, share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube so that the subscription is so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. Sharing being the most important of all of this stuff. Sharing gets this message out to more people. People that you know, people that they know, hopefully, and on and on and on. The more it can be shared, the better. So when you do share these messages, hopefully others are going to benefit from that as well. The one thing to note, I think, is that these messages, these videos are always going to be free. They're never going to, there's no charge for anything like this. I do ask for help, either financially or just sharing, but that's a totally voluntary thing. So that's how that needs to go. God's message was intended to be free. He intended it to be free. And in keeping with that, I would like to offer it that way as well. So my goal, as always, is to help those who might not otherwise find Him to find their way to God and to Christ. The next episode, I will be returning to the Ten Commandments again. I think I already mentioned that. Going from the seventh commandment and moving forward. So until then, be safe, be kind to others, love your family, love your friends, and those close to you, and love God and His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. Talk to God through Jesus Christ in prayer regularly. While you're praying for yourself and your loved ones, always remember to try to say something for those who are less fortunate as well. People you may not even know, just a little something, to just ask God to help them as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have an absolutely splendid day, and have fun with Super Bowl Sunday. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.